Uh, this is Wings of the Master. In this episode, the rebels have to break through a blockade to drop supplies, but they can't, so they need to get a new ship to break through the blockade, and this is the exact same episode as Cat and the Mouse. What are you doing? It wasn't the same, but I mean, just that premise felt very similar. But in all honesty, this was a decent episode. I mean, it was cute. There was fun action from the space battles, and it fleshed out Hera's character, but I mean, AV Club sort of point this out, but I don't know, it really didn't do as much as it could have. I mean, we do sort of get a sense of who Hera is and why she joined the rebellion, which is nice. But I wish they had reflected her character more for actions than explanation. Because we talked in screenwriting about I'm in a screenwriting class, and we talk about how we show character through action, not dialogue. So in other words, like Hera makes a speech, that's wonderful, but it's like can we find a way to explain Hera's character without her standing up and giving a speech explaining it to us? Like maybe have all of her actions reflect her character. Yeah. Yeah. And there were just a lot of moments in this episode that just felt really contrived and unnecessary, from like the fact that the fleet can't wait for Hera to like the quarry is appropriately named after Moff McQuarrie. That one minute he doesn't want Hera to fly the ship, and the next he's like, okay, fly the ship. And there was also, as I say before, a ton of cliche dialogue. I think the biggest thing is there was just a weird reversal of characters where they need to break through the blockade and they need a better ship, and Hera all of a sudden doesn't want to get the new ship, and it's weird. It's like, because I feel like getting a new ship is something Hera would want to do, and it just, like, it felt like they were just changing the characters around for the sake of the story, and it's like we need this character to do this, and like there's no consistency to the characters at times. I feel like again, I mentioned before Kanan's sudden acceptance of Rex. Like, they really need to set down rules for the characters, and like, here's what this character will never say this or that, because for Gravity Falls, Alex Hirsch, has like 10 rules for Dipper and Mabel that you always need to follow, and Hirsch will like go through the script and like make sure like everything connects to the rules. Like, I'll have a link to it in the description. It's a really good piece that you should read, especially if you're thinking about being a writer. I think this episode also suffered a bit too much of focusing more on the universe and Star Warsy stuff than characters. I mean, I felt like this was less about fleshing out Hera, more about explaining where the B-Wing came from. Like, I swear, like, these story pitches are just pitched with action figures. It's like, it's not, we're gonna show Hera's skills. It's about, like, someone picked up a B-Wing and was like, pew, pew. Or, like, the pitch for, like, the second part of the clone episode. It wasn't Kanan's gonna learn to accept clones. It was like, I have an AT-AT action figure, and here's my AT. It's like, think of characters first, please. Oh yeah, and Sabine I hate her. She is just complete blank slate, just there. I mean, the next episode apparently is going to flesh her out. I hope it does, because she is just completely and utterly useless at this point. Yeah, so not much to say. Wasn't a terrible episode, but wasn't brilliant. I mean, I just want to put this on record. I'm enjoying this season better than last season. I mean, I think it's a decent show, but it's like, it's not pushing the envelope or anything like Clone Wars was. The characters, like IGM, AV Club pointed us out, they're doing the bare minimum of character development. But I do enjoy there's a lot more variety of locations this season. It definitely has a bit more of an adventure feeling, like Star Wars. And yeah, like, hopefully next episode they finally flesh out Sabine, because she's like so useless on this show. Like, she just feels like she's there. It's like Big Hero 6 and had those characters that didn't add anything. They just threw out one-liners and catchphrases. That's literally all Sabine's been doing at this point. And also, someone points out on Jedi Council, this should be Kanan's show. He is a far more interesting, far more compelling character. Get rid of Ezra. Just like, or at the very, like, just write Ezra out. Like, make it Kanan's story. I think he's a far more interesting character. Like, that's the problem with Rebels, is that there's way too many characters on the show, and the fact that they started off with so many characters is a problem. Like, they should have, like, it should have started out with Kanan, Hera, Chopper at the start, and then at some point maybe Zeb, and then if you're gonna have Sabine, like, Sabine should have been introduced in the second or third season, because then we'd have more time to get to know Kanan and Hera and their relationship along with Zeb. Because they are just spread so thin. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they want to just throw us into the middle how the Rebels get introduced right off the bat, but we don't really know what they're about or why they came together. And I think of Avatar and how slowly Team Avatar came together, and I miss that. And even A New Hope, like, the group slowly coming together. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Rebels. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, dislike, subscribe, and this is JStar60, and may the Force be with you. Until then, take care.